So here we are with Abzan Elves again. This is the sideboard configuration I'm running this time. 3 Thought Seizes, 3 Endurances, and one down. So let's see how the next match goes. So we're playing second, unknown opponent. This is definitely a keep. Sacred Foundry, we are thinking of burn, but they play tapped, which makes us wonder. Nothing changes in our plans though. We're gonna play Devoted Druid on turn 2. The opponent does place Chalice on 1, making me think that definitely this is not Burn. Burn would never play Chalice, and especially in 1 when most of their deck is on 1 mana cost. So I continue by playing my Devoted Druid, hoping that I can actually combo them the next turn. And then I see that they play Fury by pitching Nahiri, which means that they play a Boros Stoneblade Hate Burst deck. I know that this deck definitely plays Blood Moon effects. They do play artifacts, and they have Nahiri and Fury. Nahiri usually searches for an Emrakul to finish the opponent off. They're gonna get Sword of Fire and Ice with the Stoneforge, and we continue with our plan. At this point, I really need the third land, so I'm actually gonna cast Finale for 0 in order to get the Dryad Arbor out of my deck. The opponent does try to play March of Otherworldly Light on my Dryad Arbor, but they forget that they do have a Chalice on 1, so it gets countered. That was a small misplay, but we all make those. So right now we're gonna play the Real Mocha, because we really need to draw more cards. We need to draw to cast more cards to fill our board. I see that I have a land on top, and this is a good thing, because the only thing that gets me out right now is a Collected Company. But they're gonna cast a Fury, and they're gonna kill both my creatures and my land. So the only play that I do have right now, and it's actually the best one, is to cast my Grist, and plus, hoping to survive long enough in order to cast Collected Company. They do have a Sword of Fire and Ice, which deals 2 damage to any target if it connects to the opponent. But they actually attach it to Stoneforge Mystic in order to make it bigger, obviously. So before I decide what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna see where they attack. So the opponent decides to go with the Stoneforge Mystic at me and with the Fury at my Grist. This means that I can actually keep my Grist alive, keep on creating insect tokens, and actually survive longer until I draw out of it. So I decide to actually block the Fury, let them have the card. The damage, of course, will go to Grist, but I'm not mad at that. Then I'm gonna cast a second Stoneforge Mystic, which is gonna get them another Sword of Fire and Ice. I'm clicking the one that I have already played to be easier to remember. I'm not casting anything because I will try to play Code of Calling in their turn to get the 4th mana I need in order to cast my Collected Company. And they play Magus, and I realize I cannot do anything because I have no basic lands, and I won't be able to tap for colored mana, and if I tap out, I'm gonna die anyway. So let's see how we're gonna sideboard for this game. For this game, I actually sided out the combo again. I took the Vizier and 2 Devoted Druids out. I do bring in Leyline of Vitality because they're playing Fury. I do bring in the Thought Seizes. I shave a bit on the tutoring effects, so I'm getting out one Finale and one Court of Calling. And I do leave one Grist in. I do want my Forces of Vigor in. I will take a Heritage Druid out, as well as one Azuri. This is 62. I do remove one extra card, which is actually this goose here that I didn't see. And I'm gonna run 61 once again. Let's go how game number 2 goes. Game number 2, we're playing first. This is a hand we're going to keep because we have Thoughtseize to interact with them, as well as Lilian of Vitality, which I do believe it's good in this matchup. Turn 1, I'm going to play my Mystic because I do want to progress my board. Ragavan. So now before I make any decisions, I'm going to fetch my Black Swords and I'm going to Thoughtseize them. Sorry, you didn't see that. So this is what the opponent had in hand. There you go. So, as I do have a Cavern of Souls, I do not care about Chalice as much, especially after I have cast my Thoughtseize. They do have double Magus of the Moon, so I cannot do anything about that. And they had a Solitude and a Stoneforge Mystic. A Solitude is the card that I'm actually going to take, because I do not want them to take any of my creatures. And we're going to cast the Heritage Druid and pass the turn. Most of the times I will never let a Ragavan connect, so I'm blocking with my Heritage Druid, which is actually the reason I played it. The opponent played the Chalice, which we have to remove, and the Plains. So we know 3 out of 4 of their cards they have double Magus in their hand, as well as a Stoneforge Mystic. They draw the third land, and they're going to play Magus. We don't have a problem with Magus as long as we have at least one basic forest. End of the turn, Collected Company. And this is what we get out of the company. Because we do have the Realm Walker in hand, I'm going to take the Grist and the Ogre because it's my grinding mechanism. And I do believe that in the long run, it's going to win me the game. Plus, from now on, I will be able to manipulate the top of my deck a little bit, not as much as if I was playing, for example, a Sylvan Anthem, but I am able to make easier decisions because I know what I'm going to draw next. So I play my land with Ogre. It's actually a very powerful combination of cards, Realm Walker with Ogre and Grist. I see the Force of Vigor, which is very good, which I'm going to keep for any sword effects that they might play. I'm going to play my Realm Walker. I cannot play my Elvish Mystic because of the Chalice. And what you missed here is that they actually pitched the second Magus of the Moon in order to cast the Fury, the Truth, from the top of their deck. And then they played the Stoneforge Mystic. Their Fury killed my Grist, which was on 4. But it's not a bad thing, not a good thing. And they get sort of Feast and Famine, which is not good for us. But we do have answers. And that's when I make a mistake too, and I try to cast my Curian Ranger with a Chalice on 1, and of course it gets countered. But we still have the upper hand, because we do have a Force of Vigor in our hands. So right now we have unknown cards from the opponent. And of course they're going to attack. And as soon as they see that we cast a Force of Vigor targeting the Chalice as well as their sword, they concede. Because we're going to block them, for example with an Ogre, and they won't have anything going on for them from that point on. And so we go into game number 3. Game number 3, we're playing second. this is a decent hand because we have Thoughtseize, which is our interaction as well as Leyline of Vitality. I'm gonna keep. Again. I'm actually not fetching for a basic here. I go for black because I do want to see what they're gonna draw. This was their hand. They had Stoneforge Mystic, Ragavan, Nahiri, and Solitude. Of course, Fury wrecks our hand, wrecks Elves, and this is the card I'm gonna take. They do get my Devoted Druid off the top. And they will play it as they don't have a second mana, as you see here. And obviously they didn't draw it. I'm not playing my basic forest yet, because I do want them to cast Magus, if possible. The Stoneforge, of course, gets Feast and Famine, which is wrecking Elves, because we cannot block it. And have sideboarded out my Vizier, which would possibly block it. They're gonna attack. I'm gonna block. I will never leave Ragavan unblocked if I can. And now it's time to gain life with War Master. We're casting our Mana Dorks. I think they mistimed their Solitude. They actually exiled Nahiri, which we have here, in order to play their Solitude. I do believe that they should have done it in response to me casting my Mana Dork, so I wouldn't get the token. So right now, what I know about their hand is that they have another Stoneforge Mystic, unless I'm mistaken. No, I actually know that they have a Ragavan, and the sword is on the board, and I think the Stoneforge Mystic is gone. So this is how it is. I'm gonna keep the Elf Warrior back, hoping to block Ragavan, but they're actually gonna draw a March of Otherworldly Light and attack me. Doesn't look very promising at this point. We just drew a Cavern off the top of the deck. A lot of mana. They're using our Devoted Druid against us. And they're attaching the sword to Ragavan, making sure it will connect, and they will be able to play the top of our deck. There's not much we can do at this point. We are really waiting to draw something good, like a Force of Vigor, or a Company, or even a Code of Calling. Magus doesn't do much here. We do have 2 basic lands and we are full of Mana Dorks. The only thing we have for sure is green mana. Leyline of Vitality at this point is just buying me time until I draw something good. They do try to finish the match as fast as possible. And this is a draw I actually wanted. Because I have so much mana, I will be able to code for an Azuri with the effect of a sword on the stack, because the sword does make me discard my hand. I have to make sure that I have 3 green mana. Thankfully, they're not getting anything good off the top of the deck. Here they do make a mistake. They don't cast it with 3 colors in order to be able to exile my Azuri. Because of Magus of the Moon, well, I didn't have 3 different colored mana. And my Azuri actually survives. Okay, they do get my Collected Company, but they don't really have anything to cast that affects the board even more than whatever it is right now. And at this point, if they don't kill my Azuri, they have 0 cards in hand. I actually overrun them with my Azuri and I kill them. So that was it for this match.